most interesting parts of IP. So I'm going to bring a little bit on that too. Feel free to stop bringing questions at any point. This is not going to take the whole time. The idea is to stop as soon as we can get to have exposed the contents and then jump into more of a discussion together. So the main sentence for me that makes everything easier if you follow it, but it's hell to follow, is don't trust, verify. I think when we inhabit Web 2 for too long and we're trusting that this button comes from the company of Zuckerberg, he would never hurt me, right? This coming from like a big trusted company. If this user was bad, he would have been banned. And when you're using social media, you can kind of trust some assumptions, even if they're bad. And we also used with this type of thing with the government, right? Like if someone does something illegal to my business, I'm going to sue them and I might win and I might get my money back or I might get compensation. And when we're talking about digital land, we're talking about any sovereign territory, digital or not. Those things are not given. Those things are not granted. And your security is your own responsibility. And your user's security is also your responsibility. So let's take a look at a little bit of how that goes. This is going to be lots of sentences that might help us guiding here, but I want to focus always on the questions on the top. So when we're looking into being in a sovereign environment, we're talking about having those safeguards. So you don't have regulations, you don't have intermediaries, and the most important thing, you don't have reversal. Things go bad, things go bad. You get hacked, you get hacked. So it stops being something that we use in Web 2, that security is something you buy, you get a company, they come, they audit your stuff, they check your code, they check your compliance, they give you a formal auditing document, and now you can have insurance. And the word is beautiful. That don't happen everywhere. We unfortunately are not in a maturity point in many parts of crypto and AI industry where insurance is going to be by your side. Like we don't really get to that yet. So that means a little few things. And this is the most important one. Like you have a very big blast radius, right? Making mistakes in either crypto or AI with your security is going to go way further than just what we were used to in previous tech eras. And that means you have more control. You can do all you want, the way you want. You're going from Windows to Linux. You're getting to actually play with your toys. But that means that if you do something wrong, you are responsible for that, and you're very likely going to get damaged because of that. So don't trust, verify for me is a method. Is how you look into things, and we're going to get through the tools in a moment after those slides to check some of the ways you can verify things that you're doing. But some questions are important to make sure that you even know what to look for to verify. So things like who's asking, what am I using, what am I being shown, what am I signing, and what happens if I'm wrong, are things that once you're operating anything high risk, high impact, you should be looking into. So this is abstract, but imagine this is you in a website, right? And you're using a dApp, you're transacting a stream of payment for one of your suppliers. You have a business, and those guys are giving you a security audit, and you're paying them. But they're the security guys, not you, so you're not really sure what you're doing. You get in with your wallet, and you fall into a website that looks just like their website. It has the same name, but one of the letters in the URL you clicked is a fake letter. The U is not exactly the same U or any of the characters there. So that is identity and interface, for example. For each of those steps, you're going to have a lot of ways to deceive you. There are many ways to fool someone to believe that they're doing something while they're actually doing something else. And there's only one point where you can actually be sure what you're doing, and that is when you're signing, right? We call blind signing, I say they're like never sign blindly. Blind signing is when you are on your MetaMask or whatever wallet you use, and you just go, connect wallet, yes, trade, yes, click, yes, yes, yes. And I have never read a single line of what was going on. Unfortunately, wallets do not help us a lot. the user experience of being able to actually see what you sign is miserable. And it's an unsolved problem. You have better options nowadays. You have like different wallets for your taste, 1,000 different types that are going to show you a bit better what you're doing, but that doesn't always going to be something easy to read. So using hardware wallets, number one point of how to make sure you can have a better vision of that. Like, I don't know how it looks nowadays on MetaMask because I look at like on my ledger, and it just having a physical device that you can trust what you're interacting with makes like life quite easier in that sense. But yeah, basically, if you're not sure, if you look at all this and you cannot make sure, like, don't do it. Take a break, slow down, learn how to find out what you're doing. That's a great step. And that sounds like very basic, very obvious when we say it to anyone that's already in crypto. But last year, that was $3 billion. And $3 billion of stolen money is a lot of money. And well, in bear markets, you can feel that difference in some industries, like the protocols that go dry and die, products that cannot stay afloat because they lost 2 million. And that's what they needed for the last 1 year of runway, right? So don't bet your runway on being lazy. Like, make sure you take your steps, you do it right, especially because more and more we're gonna get that worse. AI sharply reduces the cost of manipulation. It sharply reduces the cost of anything, but the amount of fake video calls from your mom being sick are going to skyrocket this year, right? Like scams, like I think Brazil is primed for this. Like we've been doing those scams for years with no AI. Like we are ready. Like this is gonna be insane, and you're in the prime spot to watch the circus burn. Uh, because even when you're safe technically, there is still a bunch of other ways to get your stuff, right? Humans are the weakest point of your security. If you have good security, if you have shitty security, your security is likely the worst spot. But social engineering is like number one thing. Like, who here ever got invited to a very weird Zoom call by some randoms on the internet, and that link is actually a compromised link that's going to get into your computer, leak your keys? It's the work opportunity of a lifetime. You're getting invited for this one call, and the link really looks like Zoom, and then your keys are gone. So don't click links. Browser and device compromise. Normally one comes from the other. Interface spoofing, as we were talking before, having one website that looks like another website, and you're just sure, I've used this 5 times already. This week, I traded on Uniswap 3 times, and now uniswap.io is a new website. I haven't realized it changed the .io, and whoa, your money's gone again. Permissions are one of the tricky things. Many of the most let's say, elegant ways to move your money in crypto are gonna need you to give permission, to give approvals to your wallet. Like, yeah, I want to make this streaming of money that pays for the house I bought from Jean, and I'm gonna pay you per second this amount over the next 2 years. And that's the permission I need to give for that contract to move money from my wallet at a certain radio. That type of permission on old permissions you gave that you never revoked, that you left the permission there, is one of the ways that things also get compromised. And the most sadistic of them all is post-incident re-victimization. So when you get hacked and you go on Twitter and you say, I got hacked, and then the guy thinks, oh, he got hacked, he's easy to hack. Hey, how can I help you? Here's this link that we're gonna help you get your money back. And you lost the rest of your money now. Those things do happen. Does anyone here sees this as totally new topics? Is everyone here kind of familiar with this areas, these ideas?
Using MetaMask was stolen a little bit.
Through
I
MetaMask?
think like 3 4 years ago, when I signed blindly, I don't know what I signed. The thing is that they can only move the Optimus token.
Good luck for them.
So I have Ethereum, I have more tokens, but they only store
OP.
Optimus.
Okay.
I never go.
Before or after it melts?
Before.
Oh damn. Okay. So my way to deal with risk is separating what I have in different types of wallets. I do not want to take care of my everyday transactions the same way I take care of my Security Council wallet. Like, so having different wallets that can do different things. This is Trezor is not paying me. I do not use Trezor. They just look cuter. Like it really looks cute. But there are many different hardware wallets you can use for everything except your daily activity wallet. I recommend having different hardware ones. Like it's not like a bad habit to have like one for your save wallet where you keep your money, one for your admin wallet where you're gonna actually like do work stuff. This is the one that manages the save wallet of your company, of your protocol, the keys of what you really can't get messed up with. Having one hardware wallet for each of those and one closed, still unused in your wardrobe for if something happens, you get to recover it. Like it's a good setup. It's what makes me feel comfortable nowadays. And well, I advise that anyone touching high risk or high volume goes for the same and doesn't tell people about it in their living room full of people saying, hey, yeah, we have our, yeah, just have it and keep shut. Like not talking about it's also a great way to keep it safe. Yeah, well, you guys seem quite on the topic already, so I think I might speed up those last few ones and get specifically into the governance part. But just before you go to a signature there and you fall for something like this, just do a few checks, make sure you're in the right domain, make sure you're in the right contract. Like, get familiar with reading Etherscan. Etherscan is like not ancient magic. It's like just literally you can open the link that comes in your transaction. Oh, the wallet doesn't show you anything, but you can just copy this link, put it on a browser, literally see the function that you're calling and say, okay, it does that. Oh, I can't read code. Cloud can read code for you. That's all right. It's easy. Make sure that the transaction actually is what it is. This is like maybe a little bit more on the careful side of like making simulation or decoding. That's not something I would say you should do every day. It's not fun. But whenever you're doing anything high risk, yeah, do it every time. Make sure your computer and your hardware wallet are looking at the same thing. And yeah, just if you're not sure, stop for a bit. And that works both for like your personal side and your team side, right? Like if you're looking at like multi-sig operations on the latest hacks that we had, like come on, we just had Drift go for $200 million lost last week. Because you can't manage a multi-sig. How can you get $200 million if you can't manage multi-sigs? That's like, it's the apex of showing how we don't really look at security enough. Like we're able to build beautiful financial products. We're able to get attention across the world and get hundreds of millions of dollars in a product, but we still manage the keys with a 2 out of 5 signers, meaning a group of 5 people needs 2 of them to steal $200 million. That doesn't sound like a good idea. There is a group called the Security Alliance, SEAL, and they have like guides and frameworks for your company to look at every single part of your operation and make sure you're following a security framework. Don't like YOLO your security. Come on. There are different parts. I'm gonna make this slide like open for everyone after, just like a few points that you should be looking at all of those. And I think on the team side, it's like, of course, this is important. You want to take care of of your stuff. But that's a personal decision. I'm not going to judge you if you don't care about losing your personal money. I'm going to judge you if you don't care about saving your users' funds. This is like, not doing this is wrong. Not doing this is a crazy YOLO. Have fun. I don't support it. You should take care, but that's your life. But not doing this is just wrong. Playing wrong with your users not to care for their bases. And when we're looking at governance, it becomes a new surface too, right? When you're talking about having a system where you can vote and that can make all the decisions, making sure that those votes cannot be manipulated freely, depending on what protocol they sit on. Like it's important, right? Like last year, the company I work on, Blockful, we almost got like into a security council of Arbitrum, like arguably one of the biggest blockchains we have right now. And their security council is like the last barrier they have. Wait? No, okay. Oh, okay. I was like, wow, who has this voice? Powerful. Oh. Ooh. Oh. Thank you. So governance becomes a new vector of attacking there, and you can like manipulate those votes with sometimes $10,000 to get to results of like millions of dollars worth of voting power if you don't set up that well. So have a routine. Make sure that you follow a routine. Security is a habit. Security is not something you do once. You can outsource it partially. You can get advisory, you can get audits, you can get someone to harden your security, but in the end, security is going to be a habit of whoever is building and whoever is operating. You need to be looking at like how you run things. Like if you're traveling, like you're in a different spot, your keys have changed. Like everything is like have changed places, right? Like make sure you know what you're doing. Here in a pop-up village, it's chiller, but like in a big conference, I go to like big conferences and I see people using Wi-Fi there. And I'm like, brother, either you're very confident on your setup or you're just like completely unaware of what you're doing. And it's scary part. But yeah, like make sure to don't open random links, to like be looking at what you can do to reduce constantly your threat models, and pay attention when it's a specifically complex task. So sovereignty is beautiful. We love having our own sovereign systems, but that means there's no daddy state, hey, please save me. There's no meta support to say, oh, he was bad. It's you and you. So make sure you don't trust, you verify, and you look at those things for yourself. I'm gonna bring some of the things here as examples that might be useful. Just before, I want to know if anyone has questions on what we already went through on those topics. Is this like news, fully news for anyone here? No? Good. Any questions?
I'm curious to hear about cases where the legal system of the code actually
From crypto money, no. When I'm talking about like a legal case, I'm thinking like something like from your business, you paid someone to provide a service and they didn't, you get to sue them.
these massive hacks, it's mostly
I think it's mostly unrecoverable. There are some people that do very good tracking. I think like the biggest example is Zach XBT. Like he's like the guy that's gonna, if you hack someone, he's gonna get your data. Yeah, he's gonna get your data to the FBI. Like he's that guy. But I don't know what can they really do after that. Like haven't seen like big stories of, yes, we got 100 million back. If the guy doesn't want to give it back, he's just like not gonna sign a transaction, not gonna say his words. That's kind of it. Like, I believe that I don't have the exact example in my brain right now. I know that there have been cases where the money was returned, but that is like a cooperation agreement, or like, oh, we found you, here's your data, we're about to leak it on the internet. We're gonna go to the cops. You have 48 hours to get the money back, and we're not gonna press charges. That is something that I've seen. I don't have like a specific case in mind, but that is more likely than the state being able to actually get your money. Unless you put it like on Binance or Coinbase, then it might freeze and move like, but then it's a centralized discussion. A few of the tools that I find specifically useful for this, and I'm gonna go to one that I'm pretty sure everyone here knows. This beautiful baby is Etherscan. I think everyone has been through this or some variation of this screen at some point. And I think when I say don't trust verify, this is the first thing in my brain. Just like, I don't know, let me get to one.
I think it's worth to explain what it is.
Yeah? Okay, so Etherscan is a blockchain explorer, which in the interface means that this is your Google for Ethereum. That this is where you're gonna go for any address, any transaction, any contract, and you're gonna have a lot of information on it. For this to run, there's a lot of data engineering in the back, like making sure that you're able to provide clear data on any block, on any transaction, well structured, quickly. This like the engineering behind this is a beautiful thing. They're quite expensive. They charge a lot any chain to have it live, but it's like for users, it's basically an open public good, right? Everyone gets to access and see information that without it, like good luck running a history node, an archive node, and being able to get all that information by yourself. Indexing the blockchain is a tough job. They do it very well, and it makes it way easier for us to find things. So like if I want to, I don't know, look at any address here, I'll just go for it. It's gonna try to see if I'm not my Claude. Gonna get an address and be able to find like its transactions through different contracts, its history, the balances that it holds, different tokens. And specifically, when I say verify, I'm thinking of contracts. Let me find one here. 1 second. When you're looking at a contract here, and you're making a transaction that you don't know what you're interacting with, you're going to be able to see its address. And from this address, you're able to come to contract. Going to check contract on Etherscan is useful in a few ways. First one is actually seeing the code. Don't trust a code that's not verified here. Like if you're building a product, and if you're building a product that's going to put some smart contract on Solidity, go on Etherscan and verify your contract. Make sure people can get access to this. If you're as a builder, deploy, and you never go to Etherscan and verify it, it's going to make it very hard for your users to be able to make sure what they are running. I can go to your GitHub and see your code. I cannot be sure that that's the code you deployed. But when you upload it here, it's going to check if your code is actually what you're posting and let me see. It even has a little cute IDE version where you can have like a on browser VS Code and actually go through the contract to actually check what you're signing. Oh, I'm using like the cancel function. This is internal, but like I'm using a cast vote function. It just says here contract blah 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 cast vote, and I have no idea what's inside. If I'm a malicious dev here and I'm making a secondary governor for ENS, and I tell you, vote here. You're just gonna need to vote, and you're gonna get $5,000, and then people are gonna go, and the cast vote function say, transfer me all your money. Like, just you can go inside, say like, see exactly what it does. Just click download the whole thing, and feed it to your Claude, and ask it to see what's malicious inside or not. If you're looking to checking those things with AI, I do recommend if skills, just like a bunch of skills that make sure your your agent has knowledge on different parts of how Ethereum works, and then it can check this code for you and help you verify what's going on. Unless you got a malicious queue halfway through, then you're fucked again. But like part by part. But another cool thing you can do on Etherscan beyond just checking here is that for some transactions you can actually interact in here with each of those functions, right? So every function you're calling in a dApp, if I go to like Uniswap interface or I go to Uniswap contract on Etherscan, I'm gonna have the same capacity to read like how like get votes. Those are the fields that are gonna be when I connect my wallet and I click the button. What the dApp is gonna actually do is fill those fields for me automatically and call it. So you can come here and do it manually if you're like looking for that level of certainty. This is for reading, but you can also like write. You can actually come here and like cast your vote without believing what the interface is telling you. A bit paranoid using an ugly screen and typing everything by hand in the right data types. Yeah, a bit paranoid. I wouldn't bring this for like every single operation you do, but I would look into this for maybe when I'm signing a $200 million transaction drift, like that type of thing might be worth considering. I don't want to pile too much on drift. It's just the latest case. Like this is like not specific to their case. The same type of attacks from multisigs is what happens mostly around our space. Questions on Etherscan? Okay, another cool one. We talked about approvals. Revoke. Revoke is this little app for you to take back control of everything you have allowed. Once you give an allowance, it is long-term. I'm saying that your contract gets to move up to $100,000 out of my wallet, and now you can do it forever, unless I can. And then you can. Some contracts are upgradable. The fact that you've read code once, if it's not an immutable contract, that means that the owner of the contract can go there, use that same address, and change the code that runs inside. Upgradable and non-upgradable smart contracts are very different security assumptions. So if you give permission to a contract that is upgradable, come to Revoke after. Connect your wallet, just click Revoke. It has this function, this exists. The dApp is not going to expose this to you. Uniswap, or I don't know, I'm just using Uniswap as an example because it's the big one. But
I do that every day, but inside the red wallet, there's an option.
Nice.
So you can just revoke inside that.
Rabby has it native now? Nice.
Like this one.
Yeah,
Every day.
It's good. Like I think that I must have two wallets that like have a few old ones in there, and from time to time I just come to Revoke and clean it up. That is like a good weekly check or monthly check. Every day is beautiful, but like at least do it.
I use like any DeFi protocol or something like that, just for my own, but I revoke.
Yeah, it's
By the way,
best safety. Biggie?
Yeah, for consumers, what should they use? It's not everybody's going to go to Etherscan for everything. Like, any advice of what people are using today that's safer, a wallet, or anything like Rappi or Skin? It's for daily use. Yeah, I've used the Sniper. Like the Sniper is
No.
It's like based on everything and our browser, and that like it's phishing or not, it's automatic.
Oh, nice.
Extension. So it's like you scrolling the X app, so every link, the extension can read that and then it is or not.
Nice.
So,
I believe Rabby right now might be the one that's most updated with better UX features. I think both in like readability, like legibility of your transaction. Yeah, and now apparently they have revoked too. Yeah.
Every time you like approve something, so 90% of the people pass this MetaMask, right? And MetaMask it tries to be user friendly, The Revit is there.
Yeah, I mostly use hardware or mobile. Nowadays, I'm messing with AI too much. I don't keep wallets on my computer anymore. But I see Rabi being like pretty much the favorite one.
There is a wallet bar, you know, to tell about it. So,
Wallet Guard.
I actually this is too much.
Okay, this is another extension. I use a Pocket Verse, not on this. Like this computer doesn't have anything safety. The safety of this computer is not having anything. Scam Sniffer.
Yeah.
Nice. Let me open this one
free,
too.
So every time, and you see things.
And with this one, you can see things like when you're running on Twitter and have the links verified.
Yeah, and before you see everything that's inside your wallet is like pop up and show the
Oh, okay. The same thing. Yeah, I use the one called Pocket Verse for that. That's it. Like it simulates the transaction for you before. But this is good that those are new ones because the one I use, they're like discontinuing. They're like 2020 companies, so they're going off. But nice. Yeah, this type of like support software like can really be helpful. Like the one I use, I've been using it for 4 years, and I'm freaked out of signing things that it doesn't say it's safe. Like it's unless you have someone tell it's safe, like go check it yourself and like protect your wallet. This is also similar, yeah. Like I think we have like some versions. Is it still called Pocket Verse?
I think it's very important because for security concepts in DAOs,
Yeah.
I suppose that this card or this is.
Yeah, no. Oh, what?
Well, I mean, for security concepts in DAOs,
Yeah.
I've never been to one of them, but I know that many DAOs use Safe Wallet. So what's your opinion on it?
I like safe. Multisigs in general are a good security support. They're definitely better than not having. A properly distributed voting power governance system is more resilient than a multisig, but that is very, very hard to make. So having a good multisig with trusted people, L2Bit is like a dashboard for seeing the state of different layer 2s on Ethereum that checks like different points of their security. They have a very good framework for how Security Council multisig should be made. Like people from different companies in different countries in different time zones, with different biases around the matter, like how you make a good council for that multisig, that matters. But the tool in Safe is amazing. The Safe S tooling, like, and they have like this new, they just released now in Cannes in FCC, support, one more support item to the security stack where it can literally look at your transaction and say like, hey, this transaction is stupid. You're not gonna do it, and it blocks you from doing it. Quite Windows of them, but quite interesting at the same time, like to have like an analysis of transaction type. Okay. Guys, that covers what I wanted to bring an intro of security. Anyone has other topics they'd like to bring? I'm gonna dive a little bit into governance and security inside of that because I think it's also relevant here. Yeah. Okay, we'll move forward. Okay, this one I'm gonna reuse a little bit. This is from the DeFi Security Summit. I use the same slides. I think I might skip some stuff, but it might make sense. So one of the paths beyond your personal security, beyond your company security that we looked before, is once you build a governance system that also becomes an attack vector. We're thinking of how we're gonna prompt a new city, And I think a part of this prompt is make sure that no one can vote to transfer all the funds to their own wallet, right? If I can come to the future city of IP and make a proposal, say, I think I should have all the money. That's not a proposal that should be like something I can approve by myself, right? That seems like a problem. And that happens because crypto is a crazy word. So, blah, blah, blah. I'm Zug. Blockflow is the company I'm working. We're building anti-capture that's like looking into this type of issues around blockchain and governance. So we want to create coordination. We see governance as the way, and DAOs are a good experiment for this. Maybe one way we can get to the point where we're making our own cities. We're closer and closer by the day. It's good. So let me get into this. So decentralized governance is a way that we can make, as we're talking now, not just a multi-sig that is a path for safety, but we can actually make systems more resilient. Imagine that I need to rob you, that's to get all the money, that's one step. If I need to get 2 guys on a multi-sig of 5 to sign, that's a harder step. But if I need to get majority on a system of 10,000 voters, that's a lot of extra steps for me to be able to get through. And that is one of the bases that I see when Vitalik, Yoav, and Marisa made last year the Trustless Manifesto, where they bring a lot of interesting points. Super recommending reading this piece about how you make a trustless system. But in the end, trustless systems only go so far. Most of our systems have trust assumptions. We have counterparty risk. We have humans involved or agents involved. And all those parts where we have to make trust assumptions, my opinion is that getting a governing system where we have agreed rules of how things work is one of the best ways where you can put this trust assumption. So I don't assume you are good. I assume that we together can make reasonable decisions. And in that sense, making sure those systems work and are not easy to break is important. So one example of this is on 2024, we're looking at ENS DAO, the Ethereum name system, and they had a very, very scary scenario where only 1.5% of the supply was active in voting. That means that 98.5% of the supply is available for you to find a way to do something against the DAO. A lot of that, like 40%, is still non-issued, right? Like it's not circulating supply, and the rest is divided in many places. But we started looking, okay, if you only have this amount of power actively voting, this amount of citizens or shareholders taking part on this, you likely have risk. And to check that risk, we were looking at how governance contracts work in general. Most of them nowadays still follow this design from 2021. That is, you have a token that's an ERC20 with a votes extension that allows you to delegate and count voting power. A governor contract that's based on Open Zeppelin, Governor Bravo. There's some customizations. And then you have, this is a contract where you will vote. This is where you're going to say, I propose our treasury should do this transaction. And then we're going to together vote with our ERC20 tokens or delegations. And if approved, this contract is the only one that can tell the time lock. This is the treasury. This contract, the time lock is where your money sits. This one is the only one that can tell the time lock to do it. It's called time lock because it locks for a time before it executes. It's like two days, 1 day of buffer time. And in general, that's it. Like you buy tokens, you delegate to someone, you propose, you vote. If it's approved, you schedule, give 2 days, execute. And ENS run on this. And we started looking at their data and seeing that their security was, when you look at this, what do you see what's the issue with this governance at the moment? When you look at this, imagine like this is the delegated amount of tokens, how many people normally vote. This is all in dollar value because it's all tokens. This is a single wallet. and this is all the money in the treasuries. What's gonna happen here? What? With Aave? Aave is a bit different because it's the founder that has the big bag, right? So it's like, but it's still governance capture in a sense, yes. But it's weird to say Stani captured Aave because Aave is Stani anyway. It's like, it's a weird thing. But in this case, this is not a founder. This is a random guy in the market.
Yeah, he could vote to delegate it or get the treasury to his wallet.
Yeah, he
Because
could.
it's above the average quorum because there's not a high voting participation.
Yeah, if this guy alone makes a proposal to say, give me the 120 million, all those guys that are voting every day, they're gonna have to run and try to find those other delegates and say, like, guys, can you please vote? And those guys are all anonymous. How the fuck do you find them? You don't. It's like complex
Yeah,
thing.
I would argue if a proposal like that gets proposed, I think more people would be active, no? Because then
Normally.
people would make noise on Twitter, hey guys, there's someone trying to get the whole treasury and
Sure.
but I totally see you.
Yeah, but this is a single guy, right?
Yeah,
He can have like a lot of wallets, but yes, there is this attention. One issue that we see in this model here, though, on the defense, is that when you delegate, when you make a proposal and it starts voting, the power is already counted. It makes a snapshot. It looks at your balance at a certain block, and you're going to vote with the power from that block. So for you to be able to change this number here, it needs to happen before this step. In ENS, most DAOs nowadays, we're making now an upgrade for ENS where they're going to have a buffer time. We call it voting delay in the contract that like gives you a while before it runs. But the thing with this is governance implementation is where you're going to find the problem. That one, which just look, is economic. That thing there, that's the reality of most DAOs today. Most DAOs are going to be in some situation where they do not have enough voters to actually protect their value. Arbitrum runs a huge bridge. There's billions of dollars on Arbitrum. There is a security council, but the voting quorum on Arbitrum doesn't reflect. It's below that. So you need a security council. You need specific steps that will allow your governance system to be your trust assumption step. Like you don't want you don't want an American company or a Chinese company to be the one that says, I'm going to open or close this bridge. Or you might want it at some points, right? You might trust the government better than the Security Council or the votes. Like there are different trust assumptions, but you don't want a country or a president or whatever to be able to say, hey, actually, this is criminal now. We are going to close it, right? We're trying to build things like the word's crazy right now. I want to be resilient to these motherfuckers. So I want to make sure we can keep doing those things. And this is a trust assumption to avoid the other ones. And just having it breaking like that doesn't really go. So in ENS case, we had both the bad economic condition, but also a weak governance stack. The governance system itself had the flaws that would allow the attacker to exploit. So basically, you can see the point where it crosses, right? At some point, you can see the size of treasury and the delegated supply. At this point where they cross, this is where you start getting the risk. So there is data, like when we did the hack night for IPCD dashboards, like I think this type of data, when you're looking at a governing system, of course, this is a plutocratic governing system based on tradable tokens, it's very specific, but being able to see your risks, understand it is a governance, it's gonna have risks. What are them? How can I visualize them? I think that type of thing is important when we think future ways to govern. Well, I'm gonna share the slides after anyway, but if anybody wants to, if anybody on the video wants to check the QR code. But yeah, old news, right? That's just how DAOs go, and that's what we call normalcy bias, right? Like it's too big to fail. It's when you look at something and just like, nah, it's not gonna happen to me. I'm chilling, my things are good. Yeah, that's what got a lot of us broken. But the truth is that we had about $500 million stole from governance systems without a single hack. No line of code broken, nothing wrong, just following the rules. $500 million stolen in less like 6 years. This does not count the DAO, the original the DAO. Well, this is like the time that we had saved those guys, but like there are like
It's just like proposing,
just proposing, just for proposals, $500 million. Can you imagine like during a bear market how much $500 million makes a difference in the ecosystem? How much open source software
not
is
only bear market.
no, yeah, but like in bear market, when you have like you see like a season of theft, crime season goes on, everyone's stealing everyone, things are crazy, and then bear market hits and companies are closing. The same ones that got robbed, and now they cannot maintain their public goods, they cannot maintain their open source builders because they didn't put like 1% of that in security. But yeah, so as this is not just ENS, now a little bit of the work I do specifically, we started analyzing those patterns of how governance breaks, analyze like over 30 governance attacks, and try to make it up into standards so we can have like good practices of how do we defend governance. And basically we got to the anti-capture framework, which is my lovely baby. Which bases on 4 verticals of analysis. So we're looking at the economic conditions we saw first. We're looking at the governance implementation that I also talked a bit about, but also 2 parts that are the token distribution. So who holds the power to make the choices, and how governance activity goes. So how often people are voting. Are they good voters? Are they voting and debating, or they just randomly show up, anonymous, press a button, send a transaction that's gone? All those analyses matter for making things safe. So example of like economic conditions that we saw, token distribution is how the power is concentrated. So is this like, if you have 10% of your supply in Binance, or versus you have 10% of your supply in lending pools of decentralized protocols, that changes a lot of the visibility you can have of how those transactions happen. Humpy, that is like the whale attacker of Compound DAO and Balancer DAO, that guy is like, I start seeing a DAO getting a lot of transfers and balance moves coming from KuCoin, coming from Maxi. I already know that it's like, okay, it's his MO. He's coming here to try and attack. A lot of from central exchanges, centralized exchanges with no information of what wallet is moving, and it just starts concentrating. You can like see the patterns of how attackers operate if you track your own data. Governance implementation, so a little bit of what I showed you before, talked about voting delays, is part of governance implementation. Have a veto function that a security council can use is governance implementation. The way you vote, right? One person, one vote, or ERC20 votes, or reputation systems, those are all implementations, as much as activity is. So, well, once more, Trustless Manifesto, I think this is one of the main pieces that guides a good mindset towards analyzing that type of thing, understanding like how trustless systems work is necessary to protect them. Not all systems need to be trustless. Being trustless is a quality that's specifically positive for resilience, for censorship resistance. There are some positive sides, like we're in the privacy house, come on, do trustless systems, people. But it's like worth taking a look at. I think that's it. Oh no, there's the fun part still. Yeah. So the big point here, I think that it's normally forgotten, is like, how do we make it safe while there are attackers that are getting more sophisticated by the day? So this is just like little meme where you have many DAOs with top 5 holders and plutocratic systems that hold 40% of all relevance, 60% of all relevance. Now that's Aave case very much. or you can get everyone to take part together. But doing this is very hard. Doing this is kind of risky unless you know the guys, they're trustworthy, they have a good OPSEC, their children is not going to get a gun to their head and someone's going to tell them, now you're going to transfer the funds. So there are goods and bads on each side, but we see that that is the current state of mostly everything. Uniswap, come on, Uniswap. This is like billions of dollars for top delegates to approve something. ENS, this is one of the ones that runs the best, that has like an active body of delegates. It needs 7. It's still very little. And inside those DAOs, a lot of their tokens are sitting in centralized exchanges, which means they can just get new voting power. Someone with money can OTC and get into your governance very quick and get your money away, coming from seemingly nowhere. With SACs, because when the tokens are sitting on a DEX or in a wallet or in a lending protocol, you have some traceability of where the money sits. When it's on a SACs, I don't know it's your balance or your balance. I don't know if those 94 million Scroll tokens, if they're sitting across 30% is Binance providing positions. A part is yours, a part is yours, a part is yours. You might as well have 30 million of those in your Binance account, and I have no visibility of that on chain until you just transfer it to a wallet and make a proposal on the same block. I have no response time because SACS makes this obfuscation, right? And not only that, there's like a lot of power that's not used. So imagine that if it's not on a centralized exchange, I can come here and I can see your token holders. I can see what wallets hold that DAOs. It still can be Sybil, still can be like a guy with 55 wallets, but being on a centralized exchange, it's like one extra point of hardness to identify. And wait, yeah. The main assumption I work with, and I think this is like where we close, and I want to leave this message deep in each of your brains, is that who here knows what Lazarus is? Lazarus, okay. So Lazarus is one of the however you want to call it, but North Korean hacker group, simply put, which has been responsible for a lot of the attacks that we have, both on and off Web3. And if we are able to see a risk, we have to assume that Lazarus can find that risk. In the age of AI, reading through thousands of protocols, thousands of contracts, economic conditions, and saying, oh, look, if I put 10 million here, I get 100 million. You know who has 10 million? Lazarus does. He'd love to get your 100 million back to his home. So if we have to assume Lazarus knows, so we have to be able to find the risks before the problems happen. And we have to assume that they are creative, attackers are smart, attackers are well capitalized. And if we keep the like normalcy bias of it's not going to happen to me, then it's going to happen to you. Be sure that you are the target. If you're building anything relevant, you are being noticed. You want to be noticed because being noticed makes businesses. Being noticed means you're making some impact, but it also gets the wrong guys. So make sure that if you're doing something, you need to protect it. We imagine that attacks happen with beautiful things like I'm going to buy all the votes and then I'm going to win. But there's like a lot of ways to make it cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and find a way to attack you. Those guys make billions of dollars. They're like not messing around. So we have to assume the Lazarus knows. So we have to make sure we also know. And well, that's it. Thank you.
Is there any government in the world close to experiment with this kind of governance sophistication?
Nah, sophistication. I'd say that the Brazilian government today is way more sophisticated than any DAO. like our systems are overly simplistic to test new technology, right? Like basically what we have here is a shareholder board with direct execution power. Like if you look at a company, when companies were starting to become a thing, not too different. Like you get shares, you get votes, and you do things. I think the failures that this technology still has, especially like on security and on compliance, are what's going to take a while for governments to get close to. I think there's like this would be a great improvement, right? Just making sure that our votes are like cryptographically secure, counted, and like it works exactly as we see, and we get to vote on major things or minor things as we choose, as we engage. But it keeps breaking. We're still trying to find out how does it stop breaking. So
It would be nice to have like some visualization of the asymmetry of voting of the legislative, for example, the concentration of power to approve laws and this kind of and allocate money like based on the amount of the population.
yeah, I think this for the Congress would be dope. Like we couldn't run a whole like a DAO system right now could not run a whole country. Like you have too much branches of branches of branches. But just having like any congressional approval, any budget passing through a system that's as transparent and as unbreakable as this, like. But then again, like, do you need it to be on the blockchain if you're doing it inside a single institution where everyone is already bound by law? Because I think this is especially useful for sovereign, non-territorialized communities, where you need to have an accountability that is just very hard to enforce. If I live here, you live in Malaysia, and you live in Kazakhstan, and you're part of the same society, I don't get your law to go behind you. So there is not don't do wrong. It's got to be can't do wrong. If I can't punish you, I can't give you any way to break the rule. I think that's the biggest power that I see. But yeah, I'd love to see what countries are like closer to. I like the Swiss canton perspective. I think that is something that would be also very interesting to replicate. The multi-hubs being Cantonese-like would be interesting.
And the way I was thinking is trying to make it tangible or quantify the governance risks that get your framework, put in the Congress and say, oh, this guy has more power, or this is the risk, and just visualization of the asymmetry of,
Yeah.
and even the technical, like.
I think we could see that with parties in the Congress, because as they have like one person on vote, so voting distribution gets very even, right? You have one vote, I have one vote. But then you look at parties, and then you look at coalitions, but then the level of subjectivity increases fast, right? Because we might be in the same party, but we vote different on some things, so it is a bit complex. But yeah, the way that we visualize it today on anti-capture is basically like looking at making sure we're able to display the vulnerabilities. So we try to make sure that let me show it here. It's easier than with the slide. Like the idea is like making sure we're able to see it fast. So like when you look at ENS, majorly like we're looking at what are the governance areas that have any risk, right?
I think that's very powerful. Like when you see, when you have like a dashboard, you can see the properties.
Yeah, like literally come here and see like, okay, you are the most powerful voter in this DAO, or like you have how often do you vote? How do you vote? Who is giving you voting power? Like, where does your voting power come from? I think that type of just saying like, oh, okay, this is the main wallet that gives you power. This is how you've been voting, or just like getting notified through Telegram or through Slack. Like when I delegate to you, and you're not voting, you're not using my vote. Just like that would be cool for congressmen. Like I vote for him. I want for every single action he does a DM on my WhatsApp saying what the fuck is he using my vote for. That
And there should be also a video option.
video option.
So if he votes for something that you didn't approve of, you should be able to veto, right?
Oh, veto. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's how I implemented it in my vision. You know.
Yeah. There are a couple paths that I've seen being taken towards delegation override. That's what I've seen it called. It's like I delegate to you, you vote A, I can just not vote, and then your vote counts with my power. But if I disagree, I go there and I vote myself, and then it subtracts my power back from yours.
That's how it worked in Cosmos.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Snapshot has an option for it. For Governor Bravos, for like on-chain versions on Ethereum, I haven't seen any like canonical implementation. There's no like, oh, this is the way we do it. There's some experiments. But yeah, that's like one of the coolest upgrades to do, I think. Like
Yeah. Very important, I think, because you vote for someone, right? You're giving him your trust, but if he abuses your trust, like in a political sense, I'm talking political sense right now.
Yeah.
You should be able to say, I didn't vote for this. You know?
Yeah. And not wait 4 fucking years for it, right? We're still the feeling sometimes is that we're still riding horses in politics. Like somebody's already in a Tesla, and we're now a horse.
I would love to get your input on my model.
Would love to take a look. Okay, well, that's it, guys. It's dangerous out there. Take a framework and let's go. Thank you. Who gets this? I have to take a moment.
Sei lá. Agora que é verdade. Ô, Jean, sabe que é um dia anônimo aqui? Falou que é anônimo? Não. Ninguém é anônimo. Tá. Agora que eu lembrei.
Ninguém
lembrou.
Ia ver um, mas ele acabou não conseguindo ver. Ele desistiu, teve um problema, mas ele ia ver o Capuz na conferência.
Sério, Capuz? Nossa.
Capuz e óculos.
Que pena que ele não vê, porque tirar bom conteúdos, né? Tipo, imagina o Topázio vendo o cara de Capuz, de Floripa, conferência.
É o mesmo cara do... Ano passado veio o cara do P2P, né? Que era o Vidiano, que é o founder.
Sim.
E aí tem o cara que é brasileiro, que é...
O Lucas?
É.
Ah, o Lucas.
É, mas não falha não. Eu fez essa cagada.
Mal.
E ele me pediu pra... Em algum momento, acho que na conferência ele veio com o Lucas. E daí, não sei se ele não percebeu que a gente linkou, né? E pra mim, que, tipo, até eu achei, claro, deve ser um codinome que ele usa e tal. Mas não, é o...
Ele não quer saber que é Lucas. Eu entreguei alguma também. Não sei quem que me falou que o novo head, né? O novo head da P2P era Lucas. Aí me mandou o endereço do Telegram para eu falar com ele. Acho que foi a Paloma. Para fazer conseguir patrocínio lá na P2P, no Foundership. Não, foi a Paloma mesmo.
Tenta traquear quem for as pessoas apagar do WhatsApp todas as referências que tiver. Pede uma Paloma apagar e...
Tá. Bom saber. E aí eu não sabia, fui e chamei... Era Dom aqui, né? O nome dele no Telegram. Eu chamei, e aí, Lucas? Eu cheguei chamando ele de Lucas, ele nem me conhecia. É foda, a gente não sabe o que é essas paradas. O que é ser anônimo, né? Envolve tudo, cara. Tem realmente preocupação no mínimo detalhe, né?
Não. Aí fica quebrado, né? Seis pessoas trabalham e recebem ela foi Ah, legal. Ah, que da hora, pô. Pô, isso aqui é um baita no Raspberry Pi. E daí a caixinha aqui de impressora 3D. Isso, aí já vem configurado. Aí aqui dele, a gente chama de BPI. Nossa, que legal, cara. É o primeiro plugin que que saiu do podcast aqui no Brasil. Mas daí vocês usam ele pra quê? Eu uso para validar rede. Ah, legal. Imagina que eu vai assinar você sabe que a carteira tem legal. Botou na mochilinha da Zebra. Que negócio This is a Zebra PI. Zebra PI? Yeah. The first one is like a plug and play.
Because it's laundering money right now.
Not yet, not yet.
I am a student defender.
I saw
Like taxi dash fives.
I'm the master.
Oh yeah.
I actually created the first district of the dash.
So não like Ezequiel. Okay. I'm not sure if you met. I have a super. Anyone that's following Zuko is a friend.
I haven't heard
There's a sunglass. Just got one.
Actually, I want a t-shirt.
Ah, yeah.
But I think,
It's Andy.
oh, this is so cute.
It's first it's a full load of Zcash, but called Zebra PI.
Oh, this guy was really sick.
Yeah, it's my
Yeah, okay, he's the one that like mostly showed me the chest. Like here. Yeah, but imagine Rio like that. What's this? A gente estava tentando botar em dúvida esqueci completamente. Comecei o indo na casa da avó, em casa, né? Aí toma uma, toma outra. Hoje que eu vi que eu me lembrei que eu vi chegar até o não, mas você não tem outras? Vou ver o vídeo pra próxima. Foi louco que você fez. Vai ser legal. Tá, irado. Agora, cara. Assim, né? Acho que existe alguma separação de contextos ali, né? Zcash e Ethereum, mas a parte de alinhamento, cara, é nada mais alinhado. Não, é isso, tem muito alinhamento, tá ligado?
Justamente porque tem a bridge, então, assim, e depois que a gente
antes, na época, eu usava Zcash, eu usava fazer com Tron e Shapeshift.
side shift da site.
Para poder fazer a coisa mudar de um lugar para o outro.
Agora eu tenho o Redfall Megazord.
Verdade, vamos lá almoçar e trabalhar.
Mas aí, qual foi a que você está hoje?
Um bloco. O Impact Capture é esse canal de governança.
É um framework de governança.
É um framework de governança, mas é aquela dashboard ali também. Os três dados, a gente deu bem lá no serviço hoje oficialmente para a AMS, e aí a gente contato de um mal para fazer a segurança e a governança deles.
Não, hoje não, mas essa semana eu estou fazendo.
A gente usa bastante. O ideal é a gente passa o dia fazendo red team, procurando o hack, procurando a resultado hackeado, para tirar os caras avisar para ele dar uma coisa.
Eu queria um site desse que chama Malta Zcash, que é aí agora eu formalizei
Normalmente eu fiquei sabendo, nossa, uma vez não
eu trabalho aí minhas níveis lá
nem isso aqui postado, entendeu?
escreve até escrever mal. E agora, isso aí, quer dizer que tinha em 2022, mas você entendeu? Para formalizar isso, porque aí agora.
Give me one time, you know, that guy has to do 24 hours. It's fundamentals.
Ah, tô captando mesmo.
We have a framework.
Só pode capital. Obrigado. Valeu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, okay, we're gonna be here.
I'm just right already. I don't remember his name. It wasn't really good. I don't
Yeah, this meeting came out like 2 weeks after we had a call with them.
Really?
So it's a high definition. They look at the other partners more than in action. Partners, and I think it's a very good reason. I think it's definitely something that is covered. I love like that. Years ago, we created a different like really place. We have no work, but we have some like facial ID laws and stuff. So that's like race,
Falou, vai. Essa semana eu acho que. Essa semana eu acho que vai Acho que vem aqui essa semana vai ser semana que vem, eu acho que a gente vai nessa uma. Isso vai ser uma burnout.
Estaremos por aí na semana mais vezes.
Boa.